Welcome to the Freelance Unlocked Behind the Scenes series, where I'm showcasing the amazing people who will be at a Freelance Unlocked Conference, the first and the best conference for freelancers that it made with love, and it'll take place in Berlin on May 14th, 15th, 2025. If you're a freelancer in Europe, it's an event made for you to learn, exchange experiences, and build your network of great freelancers and experts who move the freelance economy forward. So go to freelanceunlocked.com and grab your ticket right away. My name is Yuri. I'm a community builder at Freelance Unlocked, and my guests are Sarah, Steffen, and Silvia Rak, co-founders of Freelancers and Friends, a community for freelancers and a think tank on digital transformation. So hello, Sarah. Hello, Silvia. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Yuri.
Hi, Yuri.
Super happy to meet you and talk to you. And community topic, yes, it's something that I'm happy to talk about always. So let's start from the first question. So Sarah, tell me a little about your freelance journey.
Well, what can I say? I've been freelancing for over a decade, mostly in organizational and team development, topics like agile leadership, agile ways of working, new work. So my work has always been about, let's say, creating better ways to collaborate, whether that's with teams, leaders, or systems, right?
Yeah, that's Silvia. And what about you?
I have spent the first 12 years of my working life in big corporates, and frankly, that's where I started my first community. It was a global marketers community. And then when I started being self-employed, I met Sarah, and frankly, on the very first, second, third date, we decided that the community is something that we need, and we haven't had one before, and that's how it started.
So it's interesting to hear a little bit of a backstory. So I'm curious, how did you meet?
In a co-working space.
In a co-working space over cookies and a dog, a very cute dog.
That's how it works. I feel like every freelancer has to go sometimes, at least, to co-working space, because you never know, it might change your life in the future. Or maybe you can create some kind of an amazing community. Who knows? Okay, so give me a sneak peek into what you'll be talking about on the Freelance Unlocked stage.
Well, I'll start, Silvia, right? And then you jump in when I say the wrong things again. So I think we'll be mostly sharing our story, right? How we started with a few people around the table, and then how it turned into a real community over the years that is a real resource for everyone in it. And we talk about what works when you try to build a network of people that support each other. And we'll also share where things didn't work so well, right? So, and maybe an important aspect for us is also that it's not about perfection or scalability or, fast track to economical financial success, but it's about clarity and care and showing up for each other and being a true community, right? What humans need to thrive. Did I forget something, Silvia?
No, very true. Exchange is very important, and yes, what we want to achieve, what we wanted to achieve in the very beginning was a regional community, so that we can see each other face to face. But when COVID struck us, we managed to put our breakfasts and evening events into the online world. And that's how we realized that people need this everywhere. And by now, or from what we know of, we are the biggest community of freelancers in Germany.
Since 2019.
Right.
Sounds amazing. I'm curious, Silvia, what do you think was missing that you wanted to create? Why did you decide to build this community?
Yeah, there were several things actually that were missing. When I started off as a freelancer, there were events and meetups for startups and for corporates, but solopreneurs very much get overseen by the economy as such. So when you want to exchange on topics that relate to solopreneurs, there was simply nothing. So that part of exchanging your what Sarah just mentioned, whatever happens in daily life, but also to create more visibility for solopreneurs. That was certainly a great motive. And to get outside of your own bubble, because when you're a solopreneur, you also go to places like when you're a marketer, like myself, you go to a marketing club maybe, but you never get outside your own bubble. When you're in a corporate, then you get the possibility to step into different kinds of communities that relate to other parts of the business. But when you're a solopreneur, you're very much stuck in your own soup, kind of. And then, we wanted to exchange with different kinds of people, get new perspective, and also because we are also a think tank, we wanted to invite corporates and policymakers and whoever and get perspectives on a topic and create just a conversation.
Yuri, you said in our pre-talk, you said something about that building a community always is for you also a little bit egocentrical in a way, because you learn so much. And I think that was also one of the main drivers, right? Because we kind of wanted to make our own events so we can invite people that we think are interesting and have interesting things to say. So that's what we do, right? We talk about all kinds of future-related topics, from development of cities to digital transformation in companies. So anything that is, looking at the future and at the world we want to live in. So it's, we benefit from that.
Usually when people create their own communities, it's because they have some kind of a challenge, they have some kind of a need, and they want to fulfill this need. Because the first community that I've created for myself, it was SEO Club. I had some problems with SEO for my website, and I needed to solve them. And I joined the forum, I talked to people, and they're like, wow, why don't we meet in real life? And the rest is history. So I totally get what you are talking about. And it's really great when you have something in your mind, when you have some need, something that you want to deal with, and then you reach out, you find these people, and it's so much empowering when you are having this conversation with people and you see their eyes, you see the fire in their eyes, and you're doing something together. I feel like it's something that happened when you met each other. So you saw each other, you saw this fire, and I was like, oh, let's do a community, let's go for it. So still, it's good, motivation. It's always nice. It's always good to have things. But I'm curious, Sarah, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced when building the community?
Well, I think, we're bootstrapping this, right? So we had no funding like many startups out there or whatever. And it was always a challenge to find the right balance between our actual jobs and, creating the community that matters so much to us. It was also at the beginning, we had the question, how do we spread the word, right? Silvia obviously has the marketing experience, but that's not quite the same when you try to apply it to your own thing, right? You're always more unsure, or I can do strategy with huge companies, but like you have to do your own thing, and you're like, oh God, do the same rules apply here as well? So I think balancing energy was one of the biggest challenges. Silvia, do you think?
I think balancing the energy definitely in the beginning, and starting off like, of course, you have a strategy, you have a vision, and then how to implement the vision. But I still think, and I'm convinced that when you start a community, you shouldn't treat it as something extra. You should treat it as part of your business. You just plan it into your implementation of your strategy, because it has so many aspects that will help your business as well as your personal wishes and curiosity, that it makes sense to make it part of your business. I think that's what we learned along the way.
And it sounds like a very strategic approach, because what I hear from other people when they create something, when they start some kind of community, it's usually like a spark of the idea. Something like, oh, I want to meet people. And then like they start to see who they know, someone who knows, etc. And then like they are meeting. And coming a little bit back about, once again, balancing. So when you are understanding what you are creating, yes, you can go and add it to your strategy plan, into your growing plan, into your growth plan. But if you do not know in the beginning, Silvia, how did you balance community building with personal freelance projects?
Actually, if you don't exactly know, and you said about the spark, of course, when we first met in the co-working space, it was just a spark. But in the back of our minds, we already had that idea that we want to create a community, if each of us, because if we didn't have that idea before, then if we had met, nothing would have sparked. So, right? So there must be something in the back of your mind already in order to spark. And really start off, I think the most important part in building a community, frankly, is to have people who are the right people to go along with you. And if you have the right partner or partners on your side, then things will get easier. It's best to have complementary. I think we complement each other best, right, Sarah? And is there any more that I forgot?
Yeah. What I can maybe add is also that after we started off, people were, as soon as they knew what we were planning to create, people were super happy to support, right? And to become part of this. So it's kind of they're giving back, right? So we're at the point where people in the community in Frankfurt, they like start out reaching out saying, oh, I was planning to try this new restaurant, let's have a lunch there, you know? And so it's kind of the community is carrying itself by now, which means that our energy levels are easier to balance now, and we can focus on moving it forward and like providing even more value for everyone.
Sarah, do you have some guidelines for community members to help you in the community?
Not fixed ones, no. I think whenever we meet and somebody is like, oh, you know, I want to participate more, we take a look together, right? What is what they bring to the community, and how can they make themselves useful, so to speak, right? And what is what we need right now? And there's no fixed set for that, no. Mostly it's about, you know, spreading the word, of course, and maybe taking a small event or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking because sometimes it works that way, that people want to help, but they don't know how to help. And they're like, yeah, I don't know how to help, so I'll better sit still. So I feel it feels like they're asking you, like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Okay, so Silvia, I'm wondering, what has been the most rewarding moment for you since starting the community?
Actually, we have, to me personally, and Sarah can continue afterwards, but to me, it really is every time someone gives feedback to us that either they found an event super interesting, or they say, oh, I love our Slack workspace, because when I'm all by myself at home, from time to time, just to read a message from someone else who is like, in a corporate, you have your team members, but when you're working all by yourself, then maybe just a distraction is something great, in a very simple way, saying, oh, someone's out there and I can speak to them any time of the day. There are so many rewarding moments, really, every time we meet someone. Sarah, any add-ons?
I have two very concrete moments. The last breakfast that we had, somebody from the community came up to me, and she said, whenever there's a breakfast event, no matter where you host it, I feel like coming home. And that was, I almost cried. It was so nice to hear that. Because that's what we wanted to create, right? A space where people feel safe to share also their challenges and everything. And the other moment was when, at the end of last year, I was able to, a company asked me if I knew someone for PR work, and I was able to point them to someone from our community, and she got the gig, and it was
Yeah.
something that is long term, and she was super happy because she was looking for something at the moment. So really, making a difference for people through connections, through being able to point them to somewhere where what they need at the moment. I think those two things.
I feel like that's extremely valuable thing that freelancers really are missing out. It's connections, because you are working by yourself. You are still lonely in many aspects of your professional life, sometimes even maybe in personal life. Then it's definitely referring each other, because when you talk to the same people, you get to know them better and better and better. And Sarah, as you've told, it's so much easier to point someone when you hear someone, and it's so much definitely better if you know, I don't know, 20 people. It's so much higher probabilities that someone can refer a project, and vice versa. It's like this reciprocity thing that you can support and help each other, and it's so much easier to go there. And once again, sometimes it's just enough to talk about challenges. You don't even have to have solutions. It's just okay to understand that someone else has the same thing that I am. So I'm not alone, which means that most likely there is a solution. Even if you don't have one, you know that it's not in your not in just your mind. It's like in other people's minds, and you know how to do it. And I'm curious, Sylvia, if someone who listens now wants to start some kind of a local freelance network or meetup or community, where should they begin?
I think they really should begin, as I mentioned before, by looking for someone who has the same need. Because you can, of course, start all by yourself and then just put out the idea. But if you have someone out there who maybe is looking for the same thing, then it will be easier. If you don't know where that person is, well, come to us either through an event or to our Slack workspace. And there are people, obviously Slack is digital, so there will be people from other places, not only the area that we live in. And if there is no one from that area, then maybe someone knows someone, because like you just mentioned, it's about connections and giving people something. We freely share not only our knowledge on a daily basis, but also our connections. And come to us and we'll find someone in your area who will start that thing with you. Sarah, any other thoughts?
If even that feels like too much at the moment because you're still unsure what it is that you want to, start a community for or something, maybe just invite two people from your existing network that you appreciate. Just invite two people for coffee and tell them about this idea. And maybe they will, move you on to someone else. Or maybe they'd be like, oh, that's great. Just start really small. Don't make it too difficult for you, right? Don't make it this big thing. Just invite two people for a walk or a coffee or both, and don't overplan.
Absolutely. And
consistent. Yeah, good.
just wanted, because I was so excited to say sorry for that. No, it's just like, even if like us, and that's why we always tend to jump into each other's words, is we have 1,000 ideas for our community. Most obviously, we cannot implement them at the same time. But as time moves on, and as we know more and more people who can help us implement those ideas, then what we have in our mind, in our strategy, so-called, we can make implementation possible. So yes, start with a small one-on-one meeting with 2 or 3 people, and then you'll be good to go.
And I feel like it's also very important to talk about what you have on your mind, to share these ideas with the community, with people, because once again, Silva, as you've told, you have this on your minds, but people can't read minds. So when you are sharing it, when you are talking about it, you will definitely find someone, some like-minded person, someone who can go there and like, hey, Sylvia, I have this idea. Hey, Sarah, how can I help you? And it will be so much better. So yes, please, please, please go and share and talk about your ideas, and it will be much, much easier. And I wish to have the sky as the limit, but time is the limit. So the final question, Sarah, what is your quick take on the freelance economy and how will it develop in the near future?
Well, here in Germany, I think freelancing is still growing if I look at the latest freelancer map survey or whatever. But it's still misunderstood from like big business, from also the government or whatever. We're not the gig economy. We're like seasoned experts, we're creators, we're professionals. So I think there are policies that have to change. And there's a rising need for independent talent in the companies, saying Fachkräftemangel, whatever that is in English, but also for more systemic support, right? We need more recognition. We need to be recognized as an economic force. And I think we'll see more micro communities, like collective structures, and hopefully a stronger voice from freelancers who organize. Silvia?
Yeah, there's our last breakfast was with someone who introduced a co-op of freelancers. So that definitely might be a possible solution to a formal way of working together, not only building communities as such and exchanging, but formally putting everything together. Yes, the policy makers, we need to unite so that they see that we are bringing more to the economy than just cheap labor, and that we are, like you said, Sarah, seasoned experts and not only people who work for, I don't know, hourly, poorly paid jobs.
It's interesting. We just recently started a petition from Freelance Unlocked for full self-employment. And to the moment, I feel like there are more than 14,000 votes already. So I feel like they definitely have to listen to freelancers, solopreneurs, individual experts. It's like, why not? It's like moving the economy forward. Hey, people, go listen. Yeah. So, and Sylvia, if your friend asked you whether they should go to the Freelance Unlocked, what would you say to them?
I would definitely say, please go. For one, meeting other freelancers and getting outside of your bubble is fun. Second, you will have the chance to connect and build relationships. You never know where they might lead you one day. And yes, there is no other conference like this that I know of. So go, please.
Sarah, what is your take?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be there last year, right? So, and I would say I've had the best conversations over coffee with so many people that were generous with their knowledge, generous with their time, and even, they were all from different like things that they did, all kinds of jobs, but we had this one thing in common, that we wanted to be independent professionals. And so there's, you have something in common. There's a sense of community. And so you will absolutely find somebody to talk to, even if you go alone. And that will be good. It will be a good talk. So go. It's worth it.
Sarah, and what is the best way to connect with you even before the conference?
You can probably hit us up on LinkedIn, Silvia. You can join our newsletter on our website. And then we'll reply. There's an email address there. And you can, I think the easiest is LinkedIn probably.
And I would say the easiest is the website and the newsletter, because then you get the access to Slack. And if you're in our Slack workspace, then not only the two of us are at your fingertips, but everyone in the communities as well.
True that.
So easy. Go find freelancers and friends, go to website, sign up, or go and meet Sarah and Silvia on LinkedIn. It's up to everyone else. And yeah, Silvia, Sarah, thank you so much for sharing your experience even before the conference. And I can wait to learn even more from you on Freelance Unlocked and hope to see you very soon in person.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for your
much.
time.
And for those who listen, I hope you learn from Sarah's and Silvia's experience and say thank you to them in real life at Freelance Unlocked Conference on May 14th, 15th in Berlin. So go to freelanceunlocked.com, grab your ticket and meet you there.